Our program today is called Mindset. Several months ago, I came across a list of the top 10 most transformational books of the last decade. And we've gone through several of them in programs before. And this one is called Mindset. I'd heard about Mindset on NPR one morning because they were talking about the woman who wrote the book, Carol Dweck, was talking about education in Japan, I think it is. And it was a class of young people. They had given them math problems to do, and some of the kids were really struggling. They couldn't get it. And whereas normally in a class, you're not going to hold back for the slow performers, the ones that can't get it. You're going to say, look, we'll work with you separately. Moving on. And they're going to go at a faster clip. But in this particular case, the kids, I guess, went to the board. They worked it out. They tried to work it out. They struggled. They tried some more. They struggled. And she was just astounded that they were waiting for this to happen. And eventually, the kids got it. Nobody told them how to get it. They got it. And the whole class cheered for them. And it was that they valued the learning process. They valued the struggle. They valued the challenge more than did you get the correct answer. And that is a piece of the Mindset approach. The Mindset is the book she wrote, talking about, this is her life's career, where they have been able to divide, or according to her, they have been able to divide people into essentially two different groups. People that have a fixed mindset in which you believe that you are as intelligent, you have a certain amount of intelligence, that is pretty static. Or you have a growth mindset. And they've done lots and lots of experiments with this, where, for example, they would take people and say, this is a problem that we want you to solve, and it is a very important problem because it's going to be an indicator of how intelligent you are and how well you will perform in the future. And one group of people was told that, and another group of people was told, this is a problem that we'd like you to solve, and it's indicative of a skill that that's going to be good for you to have. But it's not like the indicator of how intelligent are you. And the people that are in the fixed mindset generally do worse on those because it is so important and it means everything. And the people that are in the growth mindset look on it as, wow, this is fun. This is going to be fun. I can't wait. And the more challenging it is, the more fun it becomes. And they love that. And the people that are from the fixed mindset tend not to. Another big aspect of this book, whether you buy into this research or not, is that we do not do a service to our children by always telling them, you're so smart, you're so bright, good job, great job. I don't know why that didn't come to you because you were obviously the best. That causes them to have the fixed mindset, because they think, I'm the brightest. Then if they do fail, then it's like they don't want to try anything hard because failure is unacceptable. They told a story about a kid who was very bright, very precocious, 3-year-old, could read, could do all kinds of problems, and the parents had bragged forever about the brain power of this child. The child did not get into the daycare or whatever, the nursery program that the parents wanted him to get into, and their whole way that they treated this child changed at that point, and they felt that the child was a failure because it was not good enough to get in. And there are things that happen to us all the time like that. And the good news is, of course, that you can change. Even if you were brought up with a fixed mindset, you can change it you have the power to change it into a growth mindset. So if you suspect that you are this, I hope I'm going to make it clear enough to you that you can change. So the characteristics of the fixed mindset, one is that you believe that your intelligence, your capabilities are pretty much set. You got an IQ test when you were in your teens, and you know how smart you are, and if you were average, then you just have kind of defined yourself as average. And the higher, more abstract thinking is beyond you. You know what your capabilities are, and that's it. And you don't tax yourself. Failure, you know, if you try something that's too hard, failure is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. And so you don't try the things that are beyond your scope. People with a fixed mindset also tend to blame others for their failure. And you're going to be surprised when I tell you the poster child that they use in this book for the fixed mindset. McEnroe. And they said he was a gifted tennis player. He won the tournaments all over the world for the 4 years in a row. I guess he was the #1 seed. Was the king of the mountain. He had performed as anticipated, but when it wasn't consistent, when it wasn't retained, when he started losing, it was never his fault. It was never that he hadn't worked hard enough at it. He blamed a cold. He blamed his racket. He blamed the judges. He blamed the line coach. He blamed the weather. He blamed everything. They had a litany of things that he had blamed over the years, and that tends to be part of the fixed mindset. I'm as good as I can get. I'm the best in the world. This shouldn't have happened. And failure was unacceptable. So he started to blame. They said as soon as somebody blames other people, other situations, other conditions, then you know that person has a fixed mindset. They're locked into that, and their minds won't expand larger to what can I do to change this. And so that's a sign. The growth mindset is you are grown up. You are brought up with the idea that you have the power to change. You can improve the innate qualities that you started out with. Everything is subject to improvement. Make a change. Do something different. We've had people who have been unemployed for a long time, and all of a sudden they say, okay, I give up. What I'm doing isn't working, and they do something totally different. They revamp their resume in an experimental way. They they change out their SWAT team. They say, this isn't working. It's not that I don't like you. I'm gonna join a new SWAT team with some people that I don't know yet. I'm going to find some new ones. I'm going to start going to different meetups. I'm going to try to give a speech at a professional association. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a makeover. I'm going to, whatever. I'm going to try everything different and just reinvent myself and see if that makes a difference. Challenge and failure is a learning opportunity. Wow, that didn't work. What did I do wrong on that? He's not here. One of my people who's been coming through my classes had a job interview for a sales position, and he said the interview seemed to go well. He did not get the job. They said they were going on with somebody else. So he did an analysis. What did I do wrong? And of course, everybody does that. Can I pinpoint anything I did wrong? And he decided what he thinks he did wrong. Of course, it's hard to get them to actually tell you. What he thinks he did wrong is that when they had him fill out an application, he really wasn't prepared for that. I always tell you, when you go to an interview, you always take your complete work history. You never know if you're going to have to fill out an application. Now, some of you filled out applications, and that's how you applied. But if you applied with a resume, if you applied online somehow, it's very possible that when you go for the interview, they're going to want you to fill out a paper application because they have to have that on file. And so he wasn't prepared, so he was going into Google and coming up with phone numbers and addresses of all the places he had worked. He didn't bring his stuff. And so it was taking too long. He said 3 times the guy came in and said, "Are you finished? Are you finished?" And he thinks that was what did it. But I've talked to so many people who said, "I felt as though I had aced that interview. I did it. I was the best." And when I say, "So what do you think could have gone wrong?" I don't think anything went wrong. I think I did it. I did it perfectly. And they don't look on it as an opportunity to perhaps figure out what didn't I do. Where did I feel that they lost eye contact with me? Where did they start looking away? Where did it go south? So anytime you don't get something, see if you can have an honest analysis of what did I do wrong, what can I do better. Success takes work. Lots of times people feel that you're just golden, or even you've always, look at you, you're so talented. Sometimes when we have people where they introduce themselves, they've got PhDs, they've been at the C level of different companies. You're so talented. We have a lot of people that have multiple patents. We've done things where we've done people bingo, where we've said, how many people are published authors? How many people speak more than 2 languages? How many people have more than 3 patents? How many people, I don't know what, different things. And many of you fall in those categories. You're used to succeeding in everything you do. And all of a sudden, you can't get a job. And it's like, what's up with this? I've never not been able to get a job, ever. What's up with this? Success takes work, and it might be more work than you've ever had to do before to get a job. People don't succeed without a great deal of work, and the older we get, the harder we have to work. The more obsolete our skills get, the harder we have to work. The more that Austin changes, the harder we have to work. But unemployment rarely comes easily. Employment rarely comes easily. Unemployment doesn't come easily either. That's the real ordeal. There was a story in the book about a young girl who competed, I think, in a gymnastics tournament. And she thought she was going to win because she knew she was good at it. And she already knew where she was going to hang her ribbons, and she was confident. And confidence is good. And she didn't win. And it said, here are 5 different things that the parents could have said. One was, well, we thought you were the best, which wasn't true. She was not the best, and it was obvious. So why lie to your kid? Then they don't believe you, even though we want to. We want to say we thought you were the best. Another option was to blame the other people. The judges were prejudiced. That's not a good idea. Then it teaches your children to blame others when things don't go your way. And there were a lot of different opportunities, and they said, but the one that they reckoned that you should do was to say, you did well. We all know you did well. You had fun. This was good. If you decide that this is something you really, really want to compete at, then you're going to have to commit yourself to working very hard, because to win takes a lot of work. And we'll help you with that. We'll get you trainers, and we'll help you with that. But you got to commit yourself that to succeed takes a lot of work. It doesn't come naturally. Even people that have natural gifts, Michael Jordan, it comes easily. The guy can fly. He didn't get selected at the school that he wanted to go to. He didn't get selected the first round in the NBA. And later, he improved through a great deal of practice. He said, in his memoir, he said 26 times the winning point was up to him, and he missed. 26 times. He failed a lot. And every single time he didn't make it, instead of going home and drinking beer and eating Twinkies the way most of us do, he went in the gym and he practiced for 3 more hours, hoping that wouldn't happen again. And yet it did. 26 times. Michael Jordan, the king. Nothing comes easily. Success takes work. Success takes work. Blaming, who do you blame for your mindset? Well, I think it really is okay to blame your parents, because they love you. They love you. and they say, "You're the best. Good job. Good job. Good job." Even when you really didn't do a good job. Good job. So I think it's okay to blame your parents a little bit. Our parents tend to love us so much that they do think that we are like perfect. Although I have to tell you, my parents never thought that I was perfect. My brother, however. Okay, so parents very often do initially establish your mindset. And lately, you know, it's like give your kid confidence. Tell them how great they are. Encourage them, tell them how great they are. Rarely do we want to encourage them by saying, you have to work hard. You have to work harder. If you really want to be good at this, you have to work harder. But that's kind of the reality of the deal. So anyway, parents can sometimes be the problem. Teachers can sometimes be the problem. Teachers also kind of help us with that fixed mindset because sometimes they limit us. They have low expectations for us, and they communicate those low expectations. And a really good example is how women, females, are frequently not encouraged to go into the sciences, math and science. And there was a story in the book about a girl who was excellent in math. She loved math. She thrived on math. And when she had a very critical teacher, and I think it was in college, she had a teacher who discouraged her. And so she thought, well, maybe that's not a good path for me. And she went into marketing and PR instead, a girl field. And so sometimes teachers, and they mean well, they want to save you from failure. And so they say, take this route. You'll succeed here. And they don't encourage you to stretch. They don't encourage you sometimes to try things that are beyond you. How many of you, when you can't get a Sudoku, go look at the answer in the back of the book instead of working on it? How many of us take the easy way out because we don't want to fail? So don't limit yourself. Keep going. In the job search, sometimes the fixed mindset comes as soon as you get that layoff notice because you view it as a failure. And failure, the action, sometimes becomes failure, the identity. And you begin to define yourself as a failure because you lost that job, or you didn't get the next job that you tried for, or the next one, or the next one. Don't confuse the two. Just because you lost a job does not mean that you are a failure in any way. Somebody told me years ago, I bet you some of you in this room might know this person, that there was somebody who had worked for Motorola who was like the premier employee, and he was considered the stellar employee, I think, because he had come up with so many great ideas and patents and things like that. And so they created an award, and it was named after him. And he was the first recipient of the award. And then every year it was given to another stellar employee. Well, guess what? He got laid off from Motorola. Probably got too expensive. And so he got laid off. Do you think it was because his work was suffering? I don't think so. Do you think it was because he had become a failure at his job? I don't think so. It's just, a business decision. Do not let a layoff define you as a failure. You're fabulous. You just have to surround yourself with people that will encourage you to keep trying and look at it in a different way. In the growth mindset, losing a job is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for change, for growth, for learning new things, for getting new certifications, for entering a new career field, for meeting new interesting people who are also walking down this path. It's an opportunity. And see if you can force yourself, even if you have a fixed mindset, see if you can force yourself out of it, at least temporarily. Every morning. Today's an opportunity for me to meet at least 3 new interesting people, and at least one of them is going to say something that's going to help me get that next job. I got to get busy. So you have the power to change your mindset. You just have to set your mind to it. And now I want to share with you, I went to a training and development professional association meeting, and the speaker was a Launchpad person and she was talking about her lessons learned from her job search. And it all has to do with the mindset situation. So this person is named Pam Caldwell. And these were the details of her job search. She called her presentation the job search gift. And she said that she had worked 13 years for BAE, so it was the aerospace industry. And then they merged with another company, and of course that also always causes turmoil, change management, lots of reorganization. People come, people go, and they kept moving her to other departments, other jobs. And so it was so chaotic that she said when she finally got the layoff, she was okay with that. And she thought, I'm moving on to something that's going to be more fun. So she initially had the growth mindset of this is going to be a new opportunity. Never occurred to her that she would be looking for a job for 13 months. 13 months of job search. She applied for 76 jobs. She had 35 responses, so about 15% actually responded. She had 50 interviews. That's from 22 different companies. So one of them, she had 10 interviews with a company. She was one of the two finalists and did not get the job. She had 17 face-to-face interviews in her 13 months. These were the lessons learned. Number one, 4 things to survive a job search. And I will print this up and put it somewhere. Send it out to you so you'll have this. A positive attitude. And you got to ratchet that up every day. Every day. This is not for the weak-hearted. Trusted advisors. Whether you have a SWAT team, I always encourage you to have a SWAT team, but she had 3 trusted advisors. One was her best friend. She interacted with her best friend every single day. The best friend was the sounding board. The best friend was the one who told her the truth. Your butt does look big in that interview outfit. The best friend said, I can see exactly what you did wrong in that interview. So her best friend. Then she had a mentor who was a manager from several years ago. And she touched base with that person once every 2 weeks. And then she met somebody at her professional association. So this was another trainer who talked to her a lot about the job search climate for trainers, opportunities, connected her with different people. So that was those were her 3 trusted advisors. Volunteer. We always advise you to volunteer when you are looking for a job. She volunteered with Leap to Success. She did, normally our projects for Leap to Success are 6 weeks. Her project was a 6-month project, and she said it was huge, it was complicated, it was an enormous achievement. When she finished that project, it was interesting, it was a challenge for her, and she said it was one of the things that she's most proud of on her resume. She also joined the board of directors of her professional association, and that was very, very helpful for her. Acknowledge your feelings. You're having a bad day. That's when your trusted advisor, she was mad. She was upset. She was depressed. She said the worst time was a week when she had 3 different jobs where she was in the finals, including that one with 10 interviews. And she got the word from all 3 of them in the same week that she was not hired. And she said she just decided, I need to go just back off. I need to take a week off. I need to go camping. I need to go in the woods. I need to go, binge eat. I need to just go get away from it and refocus and then start fresh. Get advice from everybody. Remember what your work skills are. She said she called her network, people that she'd worked with before, and said, I'm kind of running a blank. Can you think of things that I did that you felt were good? Sometimes other people know you better than you know yourself. And people would say, I always admired you because you were so strong in this area. And she'd say, really? I hadn't even thought of that. So get your work skills, find group events and people you trust, and get out and go to meetings and interact. Go to networking meetings, go to meetups, go to places that you normally wouldn't go. What was Jeff Johannigsman's group? Austin Geeks and Gamers. Go there, because who goes to Geeks and Gamers? Creative people, interesting people, folks who like to dress up strangely. Okay, maybe not, but identify 1 or 2 new things that you're going to try at a time, and experiment with new things. So just to keep your minds growing. Adapt your resume for each job. We always talk about that. Your LinkedIn profile, she said, make sure that you talk to experts. Make it more conversational. In your handbook, we've given you several LinkedIn profiles that you should look at. But look at some profiles of people that you admire, and you'll see that they're a little bit more fun. They're a little bit more conversational. They're just a little bit quirkier. So check on that. It shows your behaviors. She also put down in her LinkedIn profile what she felt she could bring to a company. Interview, prepare, research stories, but be yourself. Be concise. The achievement that you're most proud of, that you want to go on and on and on about, they just want to hear what were 3 things you did and what was the result. Cut everything down. And if they want to drill down more, drill down more. Don't have a tendency to rattle on. Networking, when you network with somebody, when you have an informational interview, especially, explain how they can help you. Don't just say, could you help me? I'm trying to get a job with your company. Have very specific things that they can do to help you. Give back and give forward. Give back before anybody does anything for you. Help everybody. Help as many people as you possibly can, whether you're going to get something back from it or not. And when you get people that will help you, informational interviews, people that introduce you to somebody, explain the outcome. Stay in touch with them. She said there was a person that she met through a networking meeting. I don't know if it was Launchpad or not, but she met with that person. It was another trainer. She introduced them to people. She gave them some suggestions on things they should do. She never heard from her again. After the initial thank you for your time, she never knew what became of her. Did you move? Did you get a job? Are you still looking? Keep these people that are part of your new network, keep them informed. Share good news with them. And keep them in touch. She said she spent quite a bit of time with this person, and then that was the end of it. It was like, once you got what you wanted from me, you're gone. We could, there's a metaphor there, but we're not going to go into it because I've already gotten in trouble with that. Okay, so essentially, that's the deal, though. It's a mindset, a positive mindset. This is an opportunity. Keep telling yourself that. It's an opportunity for personal growth. This is probably the toughest challenge you'll ever go through. I hope you never have to go through it again. But it's like those big, wide tree rings that it's going to show more personal growth during this time than when you're working. What are the lessons that you're learning, and keep adding to them and help people throughout. Okay, yes, Gordon.
If I could go back and tell my 20-year-old person, myself, one thing, it would be embrace failure.
That's a good point. So those of you who didn't hear him, he said if he could go back and talk to his 20-year-old self, the one thing that he would say, the one lesson learned, was embrace failure. And don't look on it as failure. Look on it as, here was something that didn't work out the way I anticipated. I'm so much smarter in that. And I tell people all the time that looking for a job is like looking for a spouse. And the first thing that the first marriage that you have, it goes sour. Wasn't that an enormous lesson learned? That was graduate school. You get into another relationship, you're not going to make those same mistakes. This time you're going to be smarter about how to make it work, and you're going to know better about making wise choices. And so that happens with the job search process. You have a job that didn't work out. They let you go after 2 months. Okay, weren't there signs in that interview that this was not going to work? What did you learn from that you're going to apply more intelligently next time? And what do you learn about yourself? Are you too rigid? Are you a blamer? Are you an excuse maker? And in almost everybody, Dwayne said it today, I thought I wouldn't have any problems, and then if I had done this, if I had followed through on making some improvements, I probably would have been working now. Rick Markle talked a week ago, and he said, I thought I knew all about how to find a job. I did not. And now he's working for Apple, but he said, I tried something new with my resume. I tried something new with I came to mock interview practice. I thought I knew how to interview. It helped a lot. This is a learning process. Everybody can learn. It's just a growth mindset, and you'll learn more from each other and more from this experience than any other way.